Today on College Crossfire, we talk about the world of both college football and the NFL. We talk about the contenders in the MLB, and lastly, we'll take our debate to the T-Box and discuss the Ryder Cup this weekend. All of this and much more coming up on College Crossfire. So, football might have a bye week this weekend, but College Crossfire, we don't take any weeks off. I'm your host, TJ Krulowitz, and we're glad you're spending your Wednesday night with us right here. And we hope to provide you a great show. We got plenty to talk about tonight in the world of sports, but before we get to that, I want to share that today's show is brought to you by Cap Metro, Austin's transit system. We connect you to work, school, play, and everywhere in between. So plan your ride at capmetro.org. For those who've never tuned in before, here are the rules for tonight's show. There'll be 3 rounds containing 3 questions each. For every round, I'm going to dish out points in the amounts of 3, 2, and 1 based on our contestants' answers. Whoever has the most points from their answers by the end of the 3rd round will be crowned as this week's College Crossfire champion and will get to return for our next episode. But there's a catch. Everyone must know before we begin our 3rd and final round, better known as Rapid Fire, is worth double the points, meaning no lead is safe. And also, our contestants have not yet been able to see or prepare for these questions whatsoever. So they have to think on their feet and come up with their idea of the best possible answer. If there's a tie by the end of Rapid Fire, I have a bonus question ready that will help determine our Crossfire champion. And now that we've reviewed the rules, let's introduce our contestants, the main part of the show. On first base, this guy will have a target on his back today after winning last week. Please welcome Aiden Urbach.
Great to be here, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want to point out that I'm probably doing better than Des Bryant, who had to see his best friend CeeDee Lamb get tarnished by the Chicago Bears, as well as Mike Gundy getting fired his college. So all happened in the past week. My condolences to Des Bryant and the Dallas Cowboys.
And I will always stand by it that Des Bryant's the best 88 in Cowboys history. And at second base, making his first College Crossfire appearance, please welcome Isaiah Lazos.
I'm Isaiah. It's my first time on the show, and I'm just here to take Aiden's crown. That's all I got to say.
Oh, okay. All right. Got some words going already. We going to have some trash talk tonight, or how's it going to go, huh?
This crown is glued to my head, so
Oof.
I love taking it off.
All right, starting early tonight. And on third base, also making his first College Crossfire appearance, please welcome Nate De La Rosa. How you doing, Nate?
I'm doing good today. I've just been having a long day. Just been working on stuff and I've just been working on assignments, other stuff. So I decided last week they offered me to go for the College Crossfire. I'm like, you know what? Why not? Let's do this.
Why not? There we go. There we go. I'm glad that you guys are all on the show tonight. Let's have a great show. Now that we've introduced our contestants, it's time to begin the game. The first question I have for you guys. Texas football took care of business last Saturday with a 55-0 victory over the Sam Houston State Bearcats. The team now sits at 3-1 heading into SEC play, which is starting to look like quite an intimidating schedule, might I say. With 8 games to play in the SEC, tell me where you think Texas's record will be in conference play this season, and who do you think they will lose to? Aiden, I'm going to start with you.
What's that song, Georgia? Georgia is on UT's mind. They haven't lost a game in Sanford Stadium since 2019. They ranked inside the top 20 when it comes to offense efficiency and inside the top 30 in defense efficiency. We haven't really seen what Marcel Reed in Texas A&M has done against formidable defenses. I think Georgia, they've always had a great rapport with creating great quarterbacks in Gunnar Stockton. Kirby Smart might be the best play caller in this past decade. Georgia's really good. They're going to get better and better. I see UT finishing a record of 10-2. I think they're going to lose 1 game in the next 8 games, that will be against Georgia in Sanford Stadium late November. I got UT still making the SEC championship against Georgia, unfortunately, in Atlanta. So give me UT 10-2, finishing second in the SEC.
Got a rematch between Texas and Georgia in the SEC championship. Maybe let's not make it 2 seasons in a row where Texas loses to them 2 times in a season. But
this is kind of my movie. I was a Georgia transfer, so I just want to see some action. So yeah.
I gotcha. Isaiah, how are you going to follow that up?
I think Texas and SEC play, they're going to finish 7-1 with their only loss being against Georgia. And because of that, I think these games, these SEC games, are going to be won and lost because of Arch Manning. In the first couple weeks, Arch played not up to par with what people thought he was. And their defense is doing great, led by Michael Taff. And I just feel like if Arch makes the same mistakes he was making the first couple weeks, Georgia's defense is going to capitalize off of that and turn those into touchdowns, which will not be good for Texas. So I think they're going to finish 7-1, losing against Georgia.
All right. And then, Nate, round us out here.
All right. I also think Texas is going to finish 7-1 in SEC conference play. Losing to Georgia, too, since Georgia over the past few years have been dominant at Sanford Stadium. Literally the last time they lost they lost at home, it was to South Carolina. I was literally a 7th grader. And just like they were saying before, like if Arch makes those mistakes, like how he does in the first few games, Georgia's defense is really going to eat him alive. And also don't underestimate Oklahoma and at Florida too, since Florida they're playing at the Swamp, which is a never an easy environment to play at, and also Oklahoma too, Red River rivalry. Anything could really happen over there, and also Oklahoma has a really good defense this year.
All right. Yeah, great answers there. All the same answers, kind of making it a little bit difficult for me on this first question, but I think I'm going to go with the 3 points with Nate here because I like that you brought up, both of you guys brought up the Sanford Stadium dominance that the Georgia Bulldogs have, but I like that you brought up multiple games that could possibly go wrong for Texas. I think that it is a very big possibility that they can go 6-2, even 5-3 in this SEC schedule. Aiden, I'll give you the 2 here because I did like your statistics. I like how you pointed out some of the offensive coordinators and such. And Isaiah, I'll give you the 1. All answers great. Let's move on to the next one, though. This week in college football features 4 top 25 matchups and many other competitive games for ranked teams. The AP poll will surely move a lot after this weekend because of the schedule. So, with that being said, what team in the top 25 are you convinced will be upset this weekend and why? Isaiah, you're going to go first.
I'm going to go with, I think Auburn is going to upset A&M. And my reasoning for that is this last week, Jackson Arnold went into Oklahoma Stadium, thought he was going to do something, and he really didn't. He got sacked 9 times, twice in the fourth quarter.
Brutal.
And the very last play, he got sacked with a safety. And I think that's going to leave a really bad taste in his mouth, and he's going to come back for revenge.
All right, yeah. Nate?
All right. I also have to agree with Isaiah, too, since I predicted Auburn to beat Texas A&M early on during my season predictions. And also, Auburn's been sneaky good this year, too, so don't count out Auburn for this one.
I think Auburn does look pretty good this season. Aiden,
well,
you gonna give us a different answer?
No, I'm sticking with the consensus. I think the Auburn ranking inside the top 10 in run game. They're averaging 198 yards on the ground. A&M cannot stop the run game, right? They're 70th right now in the nation. Their averaging teams are averaging 130 yards on the ground. They gave up 200 yards to UTSA. That's not even a Power 4 school, right? And Jackson Arnold, he's one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks. He has experience playing against big teams like Isaiah, like what Nate said against Oklahoma. A&M just does not have a defensive line, and I think it's going to be a close game. Give me Auburn to win.
All right, yeah, I agree with all you guys, but yeah, come on, nobody wanted to say maybe Florida State at Virginia Friday night, maybe possibly. All right, A&M versus Auburn. I think that these are all really good answers.
You are talking to UT students, and we don't like A&M.
I forget sometimes. I forget. Aiden, I'm going to give you the 3 here, though. I like your answer about the run game. A&M has struggled with that. Auburn looks pretty strong this year compared to especially the last year in their run game. Isaiah, I'm going to give you 2 here. I like your point about Jackson Arnold kind of turning around after last week's performance, getting sacked 9 times. I think A&M's going to have a strong defensive line, but I do think that Jackson has some sort of revenge game in a way. Nate, I'll give you the 1. You still had a great answer, though. I'm going to go with the next question now. We're moving to volleyball. Texas volleyball has yet to lose a game this season, going 8-0 so far. And the Horns have beaten some very good opponents such as Louisville, Stanford, Arizona State, and Wisconsin. And now as we speak, the volleyball team has officially started their SEC schedule with a matchup against Vanderbilt at Gregory Gym. This is going to be a little bit of a tough question, but looking ahead in Texas's schedule, what game do you think will be Texas's first loss and why? And I'm going to be honest, I haven't checked the score today. Hope they're winning right now, but does anybody know? They're winning? They're up? Okay, good. This question still applies.
All right, let's do this. All right, I'm not really a volleyball knower, but I've looked at the schedule today, and all their opponents at SEC play are mostly unranked, except for number 23 Missouri at home. If I have to choose that one, I have to go with them losing to number 23 Missouri, since you have to I believe they're gonna go undefeated, but if I have to choose that one game, it has to be number 23 Missouri, since Missouri is shown to be very decent at volleyball.
Yeah, they got to be pretty decent ranked. Aiden.
I'm gonna have to stick with Nate here. Missouri, they're right now. They didn't start off inside the top 25 in the preseason rankings. They now actually, Nate, they're not 23, they're 21, and they've won 3 straight games, right, against notable victories. Let me get Missouri to really take a chance. UT is not facing a top 25 opponent until they play Missouri. I think Missouri is, if any team, Missouri's going to give them a run for their money. They're above 500 right now. They got a strong lineup, and they got some pretty heavy hitters. So give me Missouri. They've won 3 games, and yeah, I think they're going to give Jared Elliott, right? Is that
Jared Elliott?
Jared
Yeah,
Elliott and UT a run for their money.
Come on, man. You sound like you knew ball for a second there. You gonna even remember the head coach? Isaiah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Texas Longhorns volleyball team is not going to lose another game until the national championship. And I say that because they're currently sitting at 8-0. And like you said, they've played crazy powerhouse schools that aren't even in their conference. So by the time they get there, I think it'll be easy. Not easy. It'll be a difficult path to an undefeated season and eventually a national championship. And the games that they have won against those top teams, it's been really close, and they've proven that they can show up in those clutch moments.
Wow, that is a strong answer. Going undefeated in SEC play, that's like Joe last year when he said he thought Texas was going to go 12-0 in football in the senior show. But I'm going to, I like what you're saying here, honestly. I'm going to give you the 3 here because I just don't think that Missouri is going to beat Texas, honestly. Missouri just lost to A&M on the road in College Station. I don't think they come into Austin and take the W after losing to A&M. I think if anything, A&M has a chance to beat Texas later in the season on October 31st. Isaiah, I'm going to give you the 3 here. Aiden, I'm going to give you the 2. It's a tough one. Both of you guys basically admitted to not really knowing too much. But Aiden, I'm going to give you the 2 here. Nate, you will get the 1 to round out the first round. So the first 3 questions, they're in the books. All 3 contestants showed some fight, but they still got 2 more rounds to go. There's still so much more to talk about, and this is still anyone's game. Coming up on the next block, we'll touch some grass because we're moving to the NFL, MLB, and the Ryder Cup. It's all outside. Get it? We'll be right back for round 2. Welcome back to College Crossfire. After 1 round, we got Aiden, the defending champ, leading right now, ever so slightly at 7 points. We got Isaiah trailing him at 6, and Nate right behind them at 5 points. So, once again, overall, a great first round from our contestants, but it's time to transition to some other topics in the world of sports and begin round 2. Question number 1. 3 weeks in, and the NFL has given us some interesting storylines. Seems like the Chargers are looking like real contenders now, and wait a minute, is Daniel Jones actually good now? To you, what team has impressed you the most so far this season, and why? Nate, you're going to start us off here.
To be all honest with you, I have to go with the Chargers so far. The Chargers have looked really good. They defeated the Chiefs in Brazil, and then afterwards they defeated the Raiders in Las Vegas by multiple scores. And then just this weekend, they beat the Broncos by a game-winning field goal too. In the past, the Chargers have been known by choking these big type of games, but not this year though. 3-0 and first place in the AFC West. So I have to give this one to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about the hypothetical matchups with Justin Herbert anymore. He's 3-0 now. So, Isaiah, you go ahead.
I'm going to go with the Chargers too, but I'm going to take a different approach. I think the difference changer in how this team's success will play out is Quentin Johnston. If you watched the Chargers last season, he was barely a receiver. He could not catch a ball. He had butterfingers. And this year, he's really stepped up into a bigger role. Along with Keenan Allen coming back, he's a veteran, and he actually has the most games with more than 14-plus receptions in NFL history. And the margin between him and the guy behind him is very big. So having that veteran receiver to lead Ladd McConkey and Quinn Johnson will really be really big in helping Justin Herbert and his weapons.
All right, yeah, definitely been a dangerous set of receivers that Justin Herbert has this year. Nobody expected Quinn Johnson to be this good so far. Aiden?
I'm going to go Danny Dimes in the Indianapolis Colts. I think he deserves that title right now. The last time the Colts started off 3-0, guess what happened? 2009. What happened that year? The Indianapolis Colts won the Super Bowl. Okay, this is a team.
You saying
that,
Daniel Jones is winning the
No,
Super
I'm
Bowl?
not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're number 2 in total yards, in total offensive yards. They've completely flipped the script. This was a team that was on QB life support. Everyone's saying, "Oh, Matt Ryan, he's too old. Phillip Rivers, he's too old." They retired just like Calvin Johnson did with the Lions. They retired because the Colts were not good. Okay, Daniel Jones has flipped the script. I think he's going to be a foreseeable quarterback, and they're determined to really do something. And yeah, give me the Colts.
All right. I kind of missed the Danny Dimes. I still think that's a better nickname. But Isaiah? I'm sorry. You guys have already all answered. I'm sorry. I really liked all those answers, though. I have to go with Aiden for the 3 here, though, because the Colts, I think, have been, in my opinion, the most impressive team in the NFL so far, starting 3-0, and they've looked really good. Isaiah, I'm going to give you the 2 here because I like your answer about Quinn and Johnson, the receivers, the weapons that they've had. Nate, I also like your answer, but I just think that Isaiah had the better explanation. Going into the next question, though, next week during Crossfire, the MLB will probably be playing wildcard games in the 2025 playoffs. Although some teams haven't clinched yet, there's still some teams deciding if they're going to make it or not. We currently have 8 teams that already have. To you, which team that has already clinched do you think has the best chance to get eliminated first, and why? Isaiah, you go first.
I'm going to go with the Chicago Cubs. They're currently on a 5-game losing streak, and since they're a wild card team, it already tells you they're in by a slim margin and don't really have the weapons or the consistency to make a deep run, so I think they're going to get eliminated first.
Gotcha. All right. Go with the Cubs. It's actually going to be Aiden's first.
I'm going to go with the Toronto Blue Jays. October baseball is very different from the regular season. Experience matters. The Blue Jays right now, out of their 40-man roster, they only have 6 active players who have seen October at least once, okay? LA Dodgers, in comparison, 22 people. Okay, and if you don't believe me, playoff experience matters. The Baltimore Orioles 2 years ago, they got swept by the Texas Rangers in their first appearance in over a decade. Okay, playoff experience matters. Toronto Blue Jays don't have it right now. They're not. They haven't even clinched their division yet, but they're number 1 right now in the AL standings. Only get this, TJ, out of the past 10 teams that have won the World Series, 3 of them actually won their one who finished number 1 in respective leagues. Only 3 of them went on to win the World Series. Toronto Blue Jays suck. I don't like Jose Bautista, and I kind of like the Texas Rangers. I sadly admit it.
Crazy straight. I did like that reference from 2 years back with the Orioles and Rangers. Nate, you go ahead and end it for us.
I don't know much about the MLB in general, other than the Boston Red Sox, but if I have to choose like the first team to get eliminated out of the MLB playoffs, I have to go with the Toronto Blue Jays too. As Aiden said, playoff experience matters, and most of the players are very inexperienced in the playoffs. And while in the Dodgers, they're really experienced in the playoffs too. And playoff experience is key overall in the playoffs.
All right. We kind of got Aiden and Nate kind of taking the same angle here. I'm going to first give off Isaiah the 3 points here because I do think that the Cubs are going to be one of the first teams eliminated. Don't look surprised, man. Don't look surprised. I do think that the Cubs have they have a shaky bullpen. They're not really consistent so far. They've had kind of a weak second half. I'm going to go with you for the 3 points here. Nate, I'm going to give you the 2 here. I think that Nate kind of talked a little bit more about the experience. I like the experience. Aiden, you're going to get the 1 here. You're looking pretty frustrated right now.
That's
There's no
unfortunate.
crying in College Crossfire. I just want you to know, all right? We're going to head to the last question of the second round. We are going to talk about golf this week, by the way. Yes, we are talking about golf. And only because the most exciting tournament in all of golf is happening this weekend. Talk to a wall if you disagree. The Ryder Cup is a historical and highly emotional matchup between the best golfers from the U.S. and the best golfers from Europe. The tournament will be hosted at Bethpage Black in New York, which is known as one of the most difficult courses in the world. With Europe taking the cake in the last Ryder Cup, the U.S. team has said this year is no joke. To you, which American golfer in the Ryder Cup will have the biggest impact this weekend, and why? Aiden, you're going to go first.
Give me Scotty Scheffler, a famous, notable UT alum. Okay, Scotty Scheffler has two majors in his repertoire this year: the championship as well as the PGA Open. Scotty Scheffler brings a tremendous repertoire. He has so much experience. He's won a lot of majors, and this is a guy that was in jail. He was practicing his golf swings in jail. What did he do, TJ? He won the Masters the next week. Okay, if anyone that's really going to make an impact in the Ryder Cup and who's really going to screw Europe, that's going to be Scotty Scheffler. If not, give me Justin Thomas, because he was a former world number one. He's won a major, and I think he has the experience to really help this USA team.
Gotcha. I will have to admit, though, you can't go wrong with the undisputed number one. But I think when he got arrested, that was the PGA Championship, and he didn't win the Masters the next week. But it's all right. I think the next one goes to Nate.
I know nothing about golf, so I have to go with Scott Scheffler as well too. So as he said before, like, he was in prison, so he had enough time to practice on the golf swings, and soon enough, hopefully like his golf swinging practice will be enough to beat Europe in the golf championship game.
All right, and then Isaiah.
I'm gonna go with Bryson DeChambeau, and I say that because he's a really aggressive player, and I feel like his willingness to take risks is gonna push this team to go farther with his willingness to take risks. I think it's going to impact a lot.
All righty, man. I love that answer. I know that Scotty's the undisputed number one, but the Ryder Cup, it means more than just skill. It's mental, it's teamwork, it's leadership, it's taking the extra step. And I think Bryson is just the player on America that can do that. I'm going to give you the three here, Isaiah. Aiden and Nate going with the same answer again. Y'all are just like same thought process right now. I have to say, Nate, I'm gonna give you the two just because you said that it was the Masters when he got arrested. I have to point that out. Nate, I'm gonna give you the two here. But another round is in the books. After the break, it'll be time to head into the most exciting part of the night, rapid fire. The intensity will turn up a notch, and to win, you have to go all gas, no brakes. Stay right where you are, because it will be time to decide our College Crossfire champion once and for all next. Welcome back in the College Crossfire. After round two, we got a new leader on the board right now. Isaiah leading right now at 14 points, Aiden trailing at 12, and Nate just right behind them at 10 points. But you know what? Everything is going to change right here in this last round, better known as Rapid Fire. This next round is for it all. Once again, the points are doubled, and the panelists have not prepared for these questions. It's going to be all gas, no brakes from here on out. Let's get right into the first question. The MLB announced on Tuesday that an automated ball strike system, better known as ABS, will be implemented for the 2026 season. This will help teams challenge balls and strikes and could, ultimately lead to robot umps in the future. In the end, the MLB is trying to do what it thinks is best for the league. Now, my question is, if you were a commissioner or the leader of any sports league, what would you do to make what would be a move you would make to change the league for the better? Nate's going right at it.
All right, I got a good one here. Putting a microchip in the football when you measure yards. Like, for example, human upturns, like, they failed like many times when the team got a first down, like, no, like, this is a first down, or like, no, this is a fourth down territory. So I believe if you put a chip in the football, it'll help you know where the ball is at.
Mm-hmm. That's smart. Are they doing that? Did they announce that they're doing that this season, or is
a UFL thing?
UFL? Yeah, the UFL's doing it. The NFL needs to get at it. That's a great idea.
They really took the kick.
During the All-Star week, I would make a glow-in-the-dark game.
For what? For what league?
The National League.
The national, like the MLB? I'm saying
Yeah,
like any league,
any
any
rules?
sports league, anything.
Oh, okay. Well, for the MLB, I'd make a glow-in-the-dark game for the All-Star break. And then everyone just wears glow-in-the-dark, and it's pitch black, and you have fun.
Hey, what do you think? Like they need to even announce the players though, because you can't see them. Like, what's the?
And then there'd also be a sports betting system where you guess what player does what.
Okay. Hey, not bad. Aiden?
I really like the baseball All-Star games where whoever wins, whether it's the NL or the AL, determines who has home matchup on the World Series. I think they should do that with the NBA. Okay, the NBA is also mid-season, right? There's two different halves, right? And there's really, they've made so many changes, right? Remember they had like the whole LeBron, Giannis had their two little charity matches.
Mm-hmm.
They've tried to limit the scoring. I think really, the NBA All-Star, it's really gone downhill. I think to really help back basketball, I think we should incentivize the players by saying whoever wins, whether that's the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference, whoever wins gets home field advantage the first game of the finals.
Okay, I mean, not a bad idea. Of course, the MLB All-Star Game is just terrible now. I mean,
Yeah.
the Four Leagues Nation for the NHL really took over the NBA All-Star Game this year. I don't know how they're gonna try to make it better for in the future. But first question down, going into the second question now. Angel superstar Mike Trout hit his 400th career home run this week, marking an incredible achievement for one of the best players in baseball history. The only thing is, the Los Angeles Angels have been pretty much one of the most mediocre teams in all of sports throughout his career, despite having players like, I don't know, maybe Shohei Ohtani. Can you tell me which athlete you think has had their career and talents wasted by a team play or external factors like Trout has? And this can be any league, not just MLB like last one. Any era as well.
Calvin Johnson, Detroit Lions. I think he's arguably the second greatest receiver behind Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice dominated 2 decades because he played for over 20 years. No, there's only very few handful of players, right? Barry Sanders, Jim Brown. But on the wide receiver level, Calvin Johnson retired at the prime of his career, right? Calvin Johnson is arguably the best at one-on-one spread formations and one of the best at contesting catches. The reason why he left is because the Detroit Lions were not the team that you see today. Detroit Lions were terrible. There's a reason why Matthew Stafford wanted to leave. And he got himself a Super Bowl. There's a reason why Barry Sanders left after 10 years. And I think Barry Sanders arguably would have been the best running back of all time if he played for another team. Dallas Cowboys, maybe. During that time, they were the 90s. But give me Calvin Johnson. He's probably the best player within the past 10, 20 years to really, waste his talent on a team where he could have been traded or opted for another team.
Yeah, the Lions have definitely have a couple players there.
I have a different answer for this one. I have to go with Randy Moss. When he first got drafted to the Minnesota Vikings, the Vikings were a Super Bowl contender, but the Vikings choked many times, so he was traded off to the Raiders. He barely lasted a year with the Raiders until he was traded to the Patriots. And the Patriots almost won the Super Bowl until that cursed Eli Manning would have been undefeated season. And then afterwards, he got traded back to the Vikings, then Titans, then retired, and then back to the 49ers. Then he went with the 49ers, almost won another one, almost won his first Super Bowl, then the Ravens spoiled it. So I have to go with Randy Moss here. He should have won at least 1 or 2 Super Bowls. That one Super Bowl should have been against the Giants, though. I'm still salty about that to this very day, that the Giants beat us in that Super Bowl.
Man, dude, that was right off the dome, naming all the teams that Randy Moss has been a part of. That is crazy, dude. Isaiah.
Going to the NBA, I'm going to go with Damian Lillard. And my point on that is that he's been one of the best point guards in the league for a while up until he got injured with the Bucks. But his whole tenure with the Blazers, he went to the he went really deep in the playoffs every single time, but he just never got the front office pieces to make his team great, which sold him of a lot of championships.
Yeah, I mean, great answers all around. Some of these answers I wasn't really expecting. That is, but all of them make sense, though. I really like those answers. But we're going to move on to our last question of the night. Basically, all the marbles right here. Sure, DKR has a great night environment for college football. But compared to other schools, you know, Texas's crowd might not stack up to some of the other big schools. So whether it's a whiteout or a bunch of people jumping up and down to a Metallica song, each school has its own unique way to make a night game special and difficult for the away team. So my question is, if you could experience a night game at any college football stadium for any team in the nation, where would you go and why?
Give me LSU, Death Valley. I feel like unanimously it is the most electric and exciting stadium for a team to play at. Like the noise, the environment, the crowd, I think that's the undeclared best option.
Oh, yeah, Death Valley.
I'm not really a Big Ten fan, but when it comes to creating stadiums and formidable environments, I do think Big Ten ranks as the best. For me specifically, I would go the Big House in Michigan in Ann Arbor on a night game. That place, there's a reason why it's the Big House. It's one, the biggest stadium, and two, it feels like the Roman Coliseum, just how loud it is. But yeah, no, I mean, there was this one game, it was Michigan State versus Michigan, and Michigan State was down. They're playing two top 10 teams, and on a onside kick, one of the Michigan State players returned it for a touchdown. Super loud. I had to turn it off. I was on max volume. My ears were numb after that, after watching, and that was on a YouTube channel. So imagine going to the Big House. But yeah, that's where I would go.
All right, then Nate.
This is a very tough question since there's a bunch of good options, but I have to choose one. I have to go with Penn State, the whiteout game. The whiteout game just looks so freaking wet. Like, it just looks so freaking awesome, and especially like the noise of the crowd too is like really loud. Even like the first play, like of opposing offenses, they usually get false starts or an offside movement because how loud the crowd is, and how they're not able to hear like what the coaches are saying. So easily the wild game for me.
Okay. You know what? This is a pretty interesting predicament that we are in right now. So, if you guys know, we just finished our last round of rapid fire. And right now, we have a 3-way tie for first place right now. So, if I explain the rules right in the first part of the show, which I think I did, that means that all three of you guys have to answer one question real quick to decide the champion of Crossfire this week. This is crazy. Have we ever had a three placement tie for first place? This is crazy. All right, we'll get this done pretty quickly. This is my question for all the marbles. All right, Texas football recently announced an on-field sponsorship with Human, but spelled with two N's, an Austin-based medicine and vitamin company. My question would be, what sponsor would you pick for your program/team, and why the put on your field?
I have an easy one.
All right.
New England Patriots, Dunkin' Donuts. Massachusetts is the home of Dunkin'. And yeah, America wants a Dunkin'. That's it.
Okay.
Give
Straightforward.
me Coca-Cola. I feel like they're a big brand company and would draw a lot of attention.
Okay. All right.
Subway, because players get to eat fresh as well as fans.
Subway?
And yeah, Subway. There's a reason why Happy Gilmore won the Golden Jacket, and that's because of Subway.
Because of Subway. I mean, I was a major endorsement of Happy Gilmore too, but all right, I know who I'm gonna pick right here. So I got my winner. Can we please get a drum roll in the crowd real quick? So this week, the College Crossfire champion is Isaiah Lazos, coming in. First time on Crossfire. He's got time for FaceTime. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I'm a man of my word. I said I was going to take Aiden's crown, and I did.
Hey,
all I gotta
hey,
say.
you did point that out at the very first beginning. That is incredible, man. Congrats to you, man. Another week in a row that we've had somebody win on their first time on College Crossfire. That is incredible. I want to thank the panelists. I want to thank the crowd. I want to thank our in-studio personnel as well as our executive producer, Gabriel Silva. It's been wonderful to be on this show with him. Make sure to check out TSTV Sports' other shows. We have the 1-0 Sports Show on Friday at 11, and also College Press Box that shows up on our YouTube at Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Once again, thank you very much for joining us here at College Crossfire. I hope you have a good night.